That guy wants to initiate you into his homosexual cult.
There's nothing like homosexual cult. Gay men are born and they are everywhere.
I really miss you. No, you don't. You only miss our sex. For how long will you continue lying to yourself, Alex? You set up your own kind and secretly come for that same thing.
But come to think of it, they do not deserve to live.
I agree with you, Brown. If we allow them to live, then they will raise to pass on these faggots to the next generation, which will never happen in the real sense of who we are now.
Now you be more small than Abi. Enter that place. Enter that place. Come on, enter here.
Welcome to Breaking News Wahala, and today we have a special guest on our show. He is the CEO of Pathfield Production, a production that has begun to tell the stories of LGBTQ communities. Even though they are not part of the community, they have seen the plight of queer people living in the Federal Republic of Nigeria and have decided to educate the general public on the ill deed, the humiliation, and the discriminations that we LGBTQ members go through, even against the laws and the ruling of international television broadcasting authorities that have decided to make sure that no LGBT media, no LGBT film, no LGBT documentation is preserved, killing any substance of our existence in Nigeria. He has gone ahead to produce, or in the process of producing, a film called The Do's and the Don'ts of the Anti-Gay Law and how it has affected us as community members.
I have tried a million times, but he keeps bringing shame to me and my parents.
He fights for himself more than he fights for him. I believe he will change.
No.
He asked me out of the house. He even threatened to tell my dad about my sexuality.
But I wanted you to remain in the closet, but you acted otherwise.
I trusted him as my only brother. I thought he could understand.
I hope you are enjoying your stay. Not really, but I know I will from now on. I stay so lonely in the room, and now I found it.
Please try and cheer up. As long as no life was lost, we have to keep being happy.
Conscience hurts, even when everything feels good.
I'm sorry. And I truly feel it ever since you started avoiding me. Please find a place in your heart to forgive.
Look, before you leave, the community is more dangerous than the homophobes.
Now I acted like he's been cheated on something.
I messed him up.
That doesn't justify the fact that heterosexual fornication is better than gay sex. Sex was designed by God for the sole purpose of procreation.
I'm tired of living my life in fears and in captivity.
And today we have Patrick with me. Welcome, Patrick.
Thank you very much, Anit. I'm glad to have you here too.
I'm glad to also have you here. Just give us a briefing about yourself. Who is Patrick and how did Pathfield Production start?
Yeah, my name is Patrick Iwe. I'm a Belgian, I'm a Nigerian, and I'm a writer, a producer, and a director.
So when the Pathfield production started, when did you decide to say, okay, as a writer, I know a lot of writers don't just start producing, and as a producer, how did you just begin to produce? What drove you to production?
Movie itself has been, is a talent that I have chosen to make my career. You understand? So far back in 1995, that was when I decided to start making documentaries on animals and all of that while I was still young in kindergarten. So when I grew up into an adult, I am in 2000, the year 2000, I tried joining Nollywood, but then that was it wasn't easy to be, to get it right in Nollywood. You have to strive on your own because nobody is going to push you. Either you have a godfather or you have somebody holding you down to that place so that someone would actually recognize you. And along the line, there was always an issue of, you know, who you know and who you don't know. So I left Nollywood also and I went to school. I studied building technology in school and I came back again. I saw that this thing is still no popping up in me to go into to tell stories that I know much about. In 2009, that was when the journey of fast production started. When I couldn't find any way to tell my story, got a lot of issues of piracy and all of that. Like when directors ask you, or producers or marketers ask you to get your script, they actually, with all excitement, give them your script. But when you get there, discover that they will read your script and make a story from your script and reject your own script. That actually gave me, this idea that instead of me doing all this, why can't I just start up something at that age? So I started in 2009 until 2018, where, I have done some couple of movies in Nollywood. Marketers have marketed most of my movies, like Idumako, the marketer who marketed one of my movies in 2011. And the movie is The Power of Darkness, Demons in the Church. I do worshipers because, I try to tell story how it affects the community and people around the world. That is why initially I tell story about Christianity, and it actually made headlines and headways in the Nigerian film industry. And in 2000, I've done other movies like The Hair, one of the movies I've done. Dangerous Attack, I'm the writer of Dangerous Attack that features Michael Zoronye, Melan Judigbo, and some other Nollywood actors until in 2018. That was when I picked up to register the company Pathfield Production with the Corporate Affairs Commission of Nigeria, which they gave me the license to do movies and all of that. So from there, I can now stand and do the things I want to do. Tell my story, produce my film as long as I have the little funds. And it has not been easy when it comes to funding movies and all of that. But then, one step at a time. That is what I know. One day we will get there. So the journey of fast food production has never been easy, but then we keep pushing because we have stories to tell. Recently, in 2019, come to realize that people are telling me that was the former president Goodluck Jonathan actually signed up the bill of anti-gay laws in Nigeria, which actually affect the community. The essence of this me going in that aspect because I have done other movies that talk about drug and talk about young people. Most times Nollywood have refused to tell story about the growth and about teenagers because they only want to show us how people make money and forget that there are strives and struggles along the line. So in 2019, I begin to imagine those people, the LGBTQ people suffering. You walk on the street of Lagos, the street of Delta State, people are being beaten and killed, and nobody's going to ask questions about these people. Nobody wants to know what happened to them. The police do not even want to go in to find out. There was no, once this person is alleged homosexual, that is just the end of it. There is nobody to talk about. Nobody is going to fight for those people to bring justice because they are gay. But then I begin to see that why is all this thing happening? Because the law was actually meant for people, the homophobes, to increase criminality. Because I come to start telling people about humanity. Humanity first, not about sexuality, not about anything, but humanity. That people have come to, go beyond, go away from the original things of life. To talk about hate. If you say you're fighting for God, because the Bible says that you cannot live with your fellow man. Yes, that is true. That is what the Bible says. But you remember that the Bible says you shouldn't steal. You should actually don't lie. So why are we lying?
Can I clarify something? Did you just say the Bible says you cannot live with your fellow man? How? What? Please clarify that statement.
You cannot live with your fellow man.
You
when
cannot
people,
live with your fellow man. Just
yeah,
to correct that notion, but the Bible was talking in Leviticus, and in Leviticus the Bible
yeah,
talks about so many things that you could not do. Even in Leviticus, you could not wear wooden clothing. We could not wear clothing that have different fabrics. So, for example, this shirt I'm wearing right now, it has a black and it has a different shade. It is a forbidden fabric for me to wear. So the Bible talks about so many things, and the law of Leviticus was given to the Israelite. It wasn't given to the nations, to the new generation. So when Christianity comes with Jesus. So we are not under the laws of Leviticus, just to clarify that. And when the Bible talks about that, it was strictly given to the Israelite. Well, go ahead, please carry on.
So when people are talking about the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, I recall back when I was a little boy in school, the book of the Bible story tells us about the things that happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. It's not about homosexuality, a lot of things, drugs, adulteries, and all of that. So it's not really. And I start telling people, yes, if you tell me that the reason God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah is because of homosexuality, do you now can tell me who is that female angel in heaven that God have sent to Sodom and Gomorrah to preach the gospel? If not Michael. Michael is a male, Gabriel is a male. Those are the names I know. But these people, so it doesn't really mean that the people of Sodom might have known that the people there, the angels there, are male or female. They just want to commit sin. Not really they want to be.
Sorry, it sounds like I'm being very annoying. It's just I'm a Bible teacher, by the way, and a minister. But you are definitely right. But the Bible also says in that same Genesis chapter 18 to 19, chapter 18 and 19, it says the angels said, "Bring out the men, let us live." So the people of Sodom and Gomorrah knew they were men, but the issue was that Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of rape. Imagine the whole people of Sodom and the whole people of Gomorrah. Imagine there were 1 million people of Sodom, 1 million of Gomorrah, 2 million people going to sleep with 2 men. They did not say we like you, we want to check you, you are looking cute. No, they said open this door, let us rape this man. So if 2 million people had raped 2 men, they would be raped to death. That was why God destroyed the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. Again, when Abraham met these angels, Abraham bowed before them and offered them food and hospitality. When Lot also in the city saw these men, Lot offered them food and a shelter to stay. But when the people of Sodom and Gomorrah met these people, instead of offering them hospitality, they were hostile and they wanted to rape them. So Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of rape. And the Bible says rape is an abomination unto God.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to explain, because too many notions about Sodom and Gomorrah that has actually shaped the community, the LGBT community. So that's what I'm trying to establish here, that people, right at this moment, you should be speaking about humanity, not about sexuality. So that is the essence of bringing up the Top Secret to explain. Top Secret actually is not the only movie I've made. I've made Tax. Tax shows about a story about family. LGBTQ exist in your family, even if you don't know. And even if you find out, are you going to kill them? You understand? And who are those people? They are our brothers, they are our sisters.
My brother, God has not despised you. All you need to do is ask for his forgiveness.
You see, I'm living with regret of allowing that in the first place.
You mean, aside what I saw?
But I love you wholeheartedly.
Something else has been happening between both of you?
But why?
It's my brother.
What happened to him?
He's suspecting us. He's not happy with me for the last time.
God doesn't want it. Man hates it and the world never accepted it.
I'm sorry. But we could just find a way to do our thing.
Are you sure this is right for us?
This is not about them. This is about us.
It's about everything. It's about the society that we live in.
This is Africa and such an act here is a taboo.
But that doesn't justify your absence in the hospital.
Were you sick?
Besides being a taboo, it's naturally dirty.
That's not what my judgment is. I feel I deviated from the family culture, not from the word or whatsoever.
So?
I just need to
Let's say, for example, you kill someone because he's gay. The Bible says you should not commit murder. So what are we talking about? But that is what the essence of trying to educate the people that these people exist. LGBTQ people exist. As long as you live your life, I have another of the movies there on YouTube that said "Be Aware." Be Aware shows the insecurities that we feel that the LGBTQ face here in Nigeria right now at this moment. Here, like in Lagos State, about 3 months ago, someone was killed in an apartment. The guy he invited in the house killed him, and up till now, I think that nothing is being done about it. Even when people know who did, nobody wants to go after this person. Why? Because it's about homosexuality, it's about being gay, it's about the community.
You know the funny thing about that story, that's the story of Dave, by the way. But you know the funny thing, I think I did a news 2 days ago about a lesbian who was arrested, for killing her husband. And even the story of the doctor, I've forgotten his name, I think Obi something, that was supposed to go to US, that was killed by his maid. I read some comment from Instablog, and one person was like, they should free these killers who killed these gay doctors because they have done a just thing by eradicating homosexuals from Nigeria. And I looked at that comment and I said, I was baffled, because I was like, how on earth do you get from saying, okay, you're a Christian, or saying you are a religious person, to saying kill somebody because of this, or having a justification to hate somebody? But carry on.
Okay, so now we talked about what about the community members? What are we doing for the community members, and what are the community members doing for themselves? You get it? Some of these community members are the people that tell the secret of the community to the outsiders. It is not easy for a straight guy to start, naming a community member without a community member telling the straight guy what to do. That's another story that is being told in top secret. It's a kind of setup. Most of these killing in Nigeria and maybe in Africa as a whole is like a blackmail. Maybe someone is doing better than you. You actually want to do bad. You honestly want to bring this person down. You plant other people. Like for example, a gay guy in Lagos State, can invite someone in Delta State to come with an idea of another Delta State guy who just wants to travel to Lagos and get alleged and be beaten in order to. It's just like the community people are fighting for what I don't know. I just say, but they're fighting themselves. So the story about this whole thing, before a straight guy fights a community member, the story has been out from the community members. It's an allege. It's a plan from the community. I don't know if you understand me.
I understand you. So you're saying that our community members, my community members, are the one bridging out our secrets, even though as an underground community, they are the one exposing the secrets and the loopholes that are giving these homophobes access into the community.
Yeah, that's just the truth of what is going on. Because most times, the movie I make not okay. I didn't make it with community people, but I just asked questions before I started Before I made a task, I made inquiries from mothers, and I asked questions. Even when the actress in that, the mother actress in that very movie, she saw the story. She said, "Yes, this is actually what happened. This is how it goes." And but I still give out the story to someone to go through and tell me. Even some clergymen, tell them this is what happened. But why are these people suffering like this? Why can't we just take humanity first without
But
even
the funny thing is that the same clergy people are the people who makes our life as gay people haunted by the messages they preach, which is very homophobic, by feeling they are doing God a just service by punishing us, by castigating hatred within Nigeria. That leads to the second question I was about to ask you. Don't you think your movie is going to be both a political and a religious catastrophe? Don't you think you're going to get a bash clash from the religious sector and from the political sector? Because first you did mention that the ex or the former president of Nigeria, the Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, you mentioned how he was the one who signed this bill to law, and we had a recent interview where Jonathan was invited abroad to one of the European countries, and he was questioned about the anti-gay law, and he said he never knew about the harm that law was going to do. And we know it was through the help of the religious sector, the sector of CAN, the Christian Association of Nigeria, with top ministries like the Anglican Communion, which is in very so much support of the anti-gay law, that they had to divide the Anglican Communion. Now the Anglican Communion, the Nigerian Anglican Church, has separated from the British or the United Kingdom, the Church of England, and just because of their homophobia. So we know that the church is in full support of this anti-gay law. Don't you think Christians and in general Muslims, religious people and politicians are going to come for you? What are your thoughts on that? Are you are you protecting yourself? How are you going to defend yourself? What are your thoughts towards that?
The thing is that I am not scared anyways about what is going to come, but I tell the story the way it is. That is for me. I tell the story the way it is. And when reasonable people look at a story, they will understand that that is how the story is. And that is actually what happened in the country. There is no fiction. The story is about, justice is about, it's about family. It's about family. So it happens in the house. Okay, for example, in the movie, someone has to kill someone. We talk about people taking laws into their hands. The homophobes took laws into their hands. And the worst thing is that at the end of the movie, the mobs take laws into their hands. So it's good for, there's a payback at the end of the movie. I don't think there's anything that actually is going to contradict anything concerning religions and political stuff. I don't think so. But I tell the story exactly what is going on right now that I've seen people cry out about. I've seen people, crying and saying a whole lot of things. Most times I people confide in me to tell me about themselves because of who I am. And, I try to counsel people to leave, not what people say about you, because I'm a living testimony of gossip about people and humanity. So I believe that the more you talk about me, the more you give me room to move on without you. So knowing people come to me and tell me stories and what they pass through in the family and all of that, we try and make this a story. When I uploaded tax, I got a lot of calls, and as a matter of fact, some of the actors in tax are getting awards from some NGOs for what happened in tax.
What about Nollywood? What about Nollywood stand on your movies? On fact, what did Nollywood say in general?
Nollywood, they've not said anything because I did not preach anything about. Nollywood said there shouldn't be a nudity in movie. In this story, we are not talking about romance. You get it? We are not talking about people getting naked, no romance, no
There's
body
no
contact.
nudity.
There's no nudity in this film. So we're telling the story, how it is when it comes to Africa and their beliefs. the culture and tradition, and the way of people, the people's way of life. That is what the story is all about. So I am not bridging Nollywood, neither am I bridging the law of Nigeria in making those movies.
Go on.
And of all the first and the second and this the top secret, before I made them, I know I give out scripts to directors too to look at it. So if there is
True,
anything
true.
like when I wrote Be Aware, somebody I gave it to someone, a lawyer, so who go through this movie, and he's a community member, so he came back with a story, with a screenplay, added screenplay that actually
So,
exposed
so
most of the
in other words, you are taking precautions. That answers the question and answers. So you have a lawyer who reads through your script. You have directors who look through your script to make sure there are no loopholes. To make sure there are no political, what is it called, yellow journalism or scandal, and to make sure that your scripts are safe to be played, because your scripts, your movies could be taken down, your production should be shot if the government gets into this, knowing
yes,
their stand against gay, sorry, knowing their stand against gay film, unless the film in production on the film that have been produced is actually supporting the anti-gay law in Nigeria.
As a matter of fact, this movie is actually not supporting is not supporting the anti-gay law. Neither is it, killing the anti-gay law. I am telling the humanity to first of all take precaution about themselves. People are killing people because of what they feel is bad, and God has not made us judge. You get it? Just do your thing. Like there's all live and let live. That is what I tell her. Live and let live. Live your life and allow the other person to live his life. So even if you give it to the president of this country, too, they know the truth. They know that this is actually what happened in the country. This is what the law has brought about: killing, criminality. Like I had a story that happened in Anambra State. Somebody invited another guy. You have been chatting with this guy on the phone for a very long time, like a year, and you have the audacity to invite this same guy. Took the little thing he came with, like 20,000 naira, and killed this boy and buried this boy in a shallow grave. But I'm happy that the government took that upon themselves, because the police arrested the guy, and the guy is in. I think the guy should be in jail now or something. Because I didn't hear much about the guy. Yeah,
that's
the guy in Anambra State. So, but what about other people? There's another story in Lekki. The guy was beaten and thrown out of the street. And it was rumored that the guy died, but along the line later, it was maybe, I think it's in your platform that I saw that the guy is still alive or something. One of the guys that came from the other state to visit Lagos State or something like that. And what about the one that died? And the Nollywood actor that also, got killed, that I heard about stories of so many things, So my story is not actually, telling anything that
we're running out of time, sorry, but yes, we have just 10 minutes before it cut us off.
So my story is not talking about any other thing than humanity.
But okay, before we wrap up, I know we didn't plan to wrap up this time because of Zoom, but my final question is, how can we support Pathfield production with the do's and don'ts of the anti-gay law at this point in time? How far have you gone with the production too?
The process is on the post-production. That is the last stage. We are doing.
So you are in the post-production. So you've shot everything.
Yes, I finished shooting, and I'm editing right now, and everything's almost done. But the only challenges I'm going to face, which I know, I needed a handle of GoFundMe so I can actually have an incentive for the actors in this movie, because most of these actors there, they want to make that a career, not just acting they want to tell stories, because when I told them about this, they understand it. Even Nollywood, the next one that I'm going to do is going to bring out Nollywood piece, because I'm going to use Nollywood actors. That is to say, they're going to watch it they're going to read a script and they will sit by to the idea of telling such stories because none is bad. So what I need now in the production is, you know, a page. It's not necessarily maybe people supporting, sending me money, but let's have a page, a GoFundMe page where, people will donate to the cause of this, of educating Africans and other community members on how to be, cautious of themselves so they won't be victim of circumstances.
You guys have heard it from Patrick and from Pathfield Production. Not only is Pathfield Production helping the community, telling queer stories, but they are also engaging in employing the unemployed youth in Nigeria. As of this time, we know the high rate of unemployment has skyrocketed above the scale in Nigeria. Almost everybody, every young youth does not have a job. Imagine that is why keto, setup, kidnapping, and robbery are on the high rise. So to help Pathfield Production, we at Curie Talk have decided to also open this GoFundMe account for Pathfield Production to help support the good cause they are doing for the community. It is left to us as a community to donate for our own cause. I'm not going to force anybody donate. Like I've always said, we have to begin to put money. Everybody where they go church, they put offering. Now from offering box we they use, they build church. Any community that needs to grow needs money. We will not have hospitals, we will not have production without cash. So please put, even if it's a little you have, put for a good cause. If you're also in the community, you know how to act, you want to volunteer in acting, you want to come on set, Pathfield Production is willing to hire volunteers, also willing to hire actors, paid and non-paid, union and non-union actors to help tell these stories. So you have been given a golden opportunity by a kind-hearted citizen of Nigeria to get a one-time opportunity in life. You could be the next star. You could be the next Nollywood superstar. Don't sleep out your destiny. Don't be using your destiny to do hookup. Oh, come and do something good with your life. Thank you, Patrick, for coming on this interview. We have had a wonderful time. And again, all the links to all the videos Patrick talked about will be in the description videos. Kindly go subscribe to Pathfield Production on YouTube. Before I call them Participy, kindly go and subscribe to Pathfield Production on YouTube and enjoy your movie. Thank you, Patrick, for having you. God bless and peace out.